Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Simone and I am a textile designer. So what this means is I spend a lot of time in my home studio designing fabrics, and my own personal practice includes hand dyeing fabrics that I then sew into garments and then sell on my website, SimoneEvans.com. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how I created my home studio space that I work out of by renovating my home's garage. Watch this. To be honest, this is one of the coolest things I've ever done. Just in terms of thinking and dreaming of such a space, and then planning, and then watching it literally be brought to life has been like amazing. This project, it has so significantly impacted my personal life as well as the overall productivity of my business. So I'm really sharing this in hopes that if you are thinking about creating a space of your own, whether it be for business or just having a personal space to call your own, I'm encouraging you to go for it. And I'm sharing my process and just how I did it. But before we get started, if you find value in this kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe right now, because the videos that follow will be about all the creativity happening in this space, okay? Go ahead and subscribe. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing to do in this space was to get excited. I was so pumped up seeing the potential this garage really had to be a beautiful home studio. Our garage was just storage for the things we were no longer using and junk needing to be thrown out. So I called a junk removal company that came by and took all of the heavy things that were in here, like old gym equipment, old TVs, and things of that nature. I also had the help of my amazing dad, who jumped on board with this project right after sharing with him what I really wanted to do with this space.
Okay, a little moving here. Come through. I should come here and come through the finish.
So after clearing it out completely and really seeing how much space I had to work in, I was just so excited to move forward.
Yes, I'm freaking out.
So the next step was to clean the cement floor to prepare it for painting with cement paint. And after painting, the floor was sealed with a waterproof sealer. Let me be your wings. Let me be your only love. Let me take you far beyond the stars. Everything we're dreaming of will soon be ours. So after painting and sealing the floor, things moved pretty quickly. It was time to work on the walls, which meant purchasing insulation and sheetrock. And at this time, I was working in New York City while coming home to Pennsylvania on the weekends to complete this renovation. So I'd get home and my dad would be ready to go to Home Depot with me to pick up the supplies I'd order. So you may notice a table and a few fabrics here, and they're here because I was also fulfilling orders in this space while working on renovating the space. And I really loved the outcome of the floor paint in here, so I was pretty obsessed with keeping the floor clean as we were in and out of this space. The installation process was pretty straightforward. It was cut to the length of the wall beams, which are 12 feet high, and soon after, sheetrock was put up and spackled by a local contractor and friend of our family. And voila, the foundation of the studio was now built. Everything beyond this point would now be aesthetics and filling the space with the essentials needed for my workflow. So before we move forward, just a few pointers, because the building of this foundation includes some things that you don't see here, such as the setting up of electricity, a heating and air system, plumbing to run water in here, insulation and sheetrock for the walls, and paint and sealing for the floor. Okay, proceeding. So the next thing to do was to paint the walls. And I went with an all-white aesthetic for my studio because my work with textiles includes so much color, and I feel like white walls provide such a clean and open feeling in almost any space. Before I finished painting the last wall, I found my 8-foot mirrors that I had my heart set on and had been looking all over for. As I was painting, I was checking Craigslist and places going out of business for mirrors, and actually found a church getting rid of theirs. So I immediately stopped painting, grabbed my dad and my brother for their help lifting, rented a U-Haul, and raced over to the church to get these mirrors. Another dream come true and such an essential was finding the right studio sink, which I found soon after. I was specifically looking for a stainless steel 3-bay sink and happened to find a restaurant going out of business, so I was able to buy this sink from the restaurant owner. And at this point, I just felt so loved and seen by God to be finding the things my heart was really set on. I was just so beyond grateful at this point. And so the last essential that hadn't been built yet was a table, and so I decided to have a 4x8 table built that I can store things underneath. I put wheels on it so it's easy to move around in the space. My parents would come in every now and again and check on my process and see what I was up to, and they were so happy the day that the table was built because we could actually envision, we're now seeing this surface that my work is going to be on. So it was just a really beautiful time. And so here it is. After the table was made, everything I needed was in place. The making of this space has not only made me a better person, but it is really such a breath of fresh air to be able to wake up and work from home, from a place that truly inspires me and from a place I remember looked nothing like this at first. And I filled it with elements of myself and the things that make me happy, like tons and tons of plants. And I think one of the best qualities of my studio is that I've made it a multifunctional space. I'm able to comfortably and efficiently design my fabrics in here. The space in the sink and just the space in general works really well for me when I'm working on larger scaled fabrics, while also being able to set up corners to record music, as I am a music lover, while also being able to host some parties and workshops, including my close friends and loved ones. And I was able to celebrate my 30th birthday here last year, gathering in this space. And so this renovation really birthed a passion in me to build other spaces in the future, and a passion to also share with others how you can be creating spaces of your own too. I hope this was helpful to you if you are thinking about creating a space of your own. If you have questions for me, please feel free to drop those comments below and I'm happy to answer them. And I will see you again next week.